dark in America is evil. So since we dark, we should experience a nightmare instead of American dream. All this is just a bunch of baloney anyway. You don't have to go to jail to see the dark side of America, but on the street, mostly everybody is in denial. We have a lot of so-called dark people or black people that actually are pushing white supremacy themselves and actually under the impression that they can become capitalists in the American dream. So there's no one location in America that's the dark side. When you go to prison, you just see America without the mask to Hollywood, where you have segregation, where you have police brutality, where you have immorality, where you actually learn to be more corrupt than if they put you in a place that help train you with some skills to provide you with some tools so when you get out, you can do your own fishing instead of waiting for somebody to throw you a fish. So there's no one way to deal with the dark side of America. The first 4 letters in America mean to punish. And basically they came with dogs and guns, and they still come with dogs and guns. So I don't really know how to talk about that without continuing on forever in eternity until we figure out how to eradicate the problems that we're being faced with. But we can't eradicate the problems that we're being faced with if we're in constant denial that we're being confronted with a problem.
Okay, so when you say we're in denial, what do you mean we're in denial? I mean, how are we in denial? What do you mean?
Easy,
what do you mean denial?
Easy. Denial is another form of ignorance. Ignorance is something that you ignore. And we're ignoring the fact that we're on the bottom rung of the social economic ladder in America for the last 400 years. We're ignoring purposely that we're under attack by I don't know who. They say it's the Mexicans, and if you drive through East LA, you will get shot at if you blackface, right? But we want to deny that we're not being attacked by another group. Maybe it's the Klan wanting us to fight the Mexicans, but in either case, we're in denial that we're under attack. Then when you go to the schools and you have these idiot teachers who pass the CBEST and are certified to teach our children how to be flip-flop and lip-lop and every kind of other wop, it's like, where do you start? Well, there's some people say you start in the home. All right, yeah, well, maybe some people shouldn't have been parents before they went through some kind of manhood or womanhood training on what life was all about.
Exactly.
So there's really, like I say, so many angles of the American dream that are more like a nightmare to us that, you know, we could go on and on and on. America wasn't produced for us, but we're in denial of that because we always talking about I'm the first black this and I'm the first black that to indicate that maybe you succeed in America when America was designed for white people. And if you say that, everybody in denial of it because Condoleezza Rice represents black people. Condoleezza Rice, she represents the interests of the rich white people. There's a minority. Some people say it's not a race issue, it's an economic issue. But you can't separate racism from capitalism.
Why is that so? Why do you feel that way?
I really don't feel that way. I know that way and think that way. When you study history from a scientific perspective, you have certain social laws. And the social laws, when you study history, the social laws tell us that the slaves always overthrew the master, right? And the purpose of the master was to get the slave to serve the purpose of the master. So when they emancipated black people in 1865, they didn't recompensate or reinvest what they had taken from us, so we were still existing in the slave state for the last 400 years.
Okay, so what about our citizenship? I mean,
there's no such thing as a citizenship.
But we're American citizens.
No, you're not.
I'm American citizen.
Why is it you have a voting privilege and not a voting right if you're a citizen? See, we have to check out the Amendment 13th, 14th, and 15th amendments and examine them carefully, and you'll find out that you just awarded the state. Everybody, including the woman or a Mexican who comes across from the border and becomes a citizen, has voting rights. Black people are the only people in America who have a voting privilege that lasts every 25 years that they have to vote for in Congress. So you're not a citizen. You might be something like on a plank in between slavery and citizenship, and this is another thing that we just overlook or deny. So I don't want to get too excited, but I get excited about this because the issue pertains to me, my children, and our future welfare.
So, I mean, what do you think we should do? I mean,
we should organize ourselves. We should organize ourselves, secure ourselves, and better educate ourselves.
I mean, like, you don't feel that we should have some type of bridge or some type of communication between Africa and us?
Of course. Matter of fact, the ultimate thing dealing with us as what people call gangs is for us to realize that we need to own and control something. And the quickest and best way to own and control something is to return to the land of our forefathers and take that G thing there with some consciousness. Because you got a lot of people running into Africa stealing the resources that belong to us. And
yeah.
we are looked at as being poor people when actually we the richest people on the planet. We just got to go somewhere where we can regulate our own thing. We will never be able to totally regulate our own thing in America because everybody who comes to this country as foreigners are friends of America. We're the only ones that are not friends of America because we didn't